Hey Soul Surfers, welcome to day one of the 30 Days to Self-Love series. I'm so excited to do this series and to show you the different ways that I've been working and bringing self-love into my life so that I can feel that love more regularly and boost my confidence and just feel my wholeness and completeness on a daily basis. So day one, we're talking about adoring yourself. And what I mean by adoring yourself is using affirmations. Now, what is the point of affirmations? Well, affirmations pretty much are going to reprogram your mind. We have a lot of subconscious templating that most of us have picked up from childhood. It can be from other situations that we've experienced, but predominantly that templating comes from childhood. So our subconscious is running on autopilot with all of these messages and stories and beliefs that we've picked up in childhood based on our environment, or the meaning that we gave to our environment based on what we saw happening around us. Using affirmations is going to reprogram that subconscious. Now, I recommend doing affirmations within an hour of waking up or within an hour of going to bed. And the reason that I recommend this is because that is when our brains go into the theta state. And the theta state is the programming time. It's when our mind becomes kind of a sponge, which is also why it's really important to monitor what you are watching and listening to right before you go to bed or what you have playing, because that's what your subconscious is picking up. And actually, in our childhood, between the ages of about 2 and 7, that's when our subconscious is in the theta state. So we really pick up a lot of what we hear, and whatever meaning we give to what we see going on around us is really ingrained during that time of our life. So affirmations are going to help reprogram that templating, retell that story. It'll erase the old story, tell a new story. So now I'm going to share with you some ways that I use affirmations in my everyday life. The first one is a collage. So I actually keep an affirmation collage on my fridge, and you'll see a picture of it here. I basically just wrote down all of the things that I know deep down that I am, or that I want to embody more fully in my everyday life. And so by putting this on the fridge, I see it when I walk by the fridge or go to get something to eat, or just as I'm, meandering the kitchen, doing my chores, wandering through it. So it kind of, my subconscious sees that every day. And what I really loved about this project was that I got to use markers. Yes, I love markers. I love coloring. It really put me in touch with my inner child. But there's a lot of different ways you can do this collage. You can do things like use magazines and cut out words. You can use crayons, paints. You can, really, whatever resonates with you, the possibilities are absolutely endless for you to do this. You can use mine as an example, but it's for you. Whatever's going to work for you and that you love and that really you'll connect with, that's what I recommend doing. Another way that I use affirmations is using the emotional freedom technique known as EFT. And basically what EFT is it's tapping on different meridian points of your body and energy points. And it sends a signal to your body with whatever emotion you're feeling. It calms the body down and essentially tells the body that it's safe, and it reprograms that energy. And it uses different statements to do this. So you're basically acknowledging your feelings, and then you're saying the statements of how you feel, and then transitioning it into other affirmations that are more positive to reprogram that mind. If you're interested in EFT or EFT tapping at all, I highly recommend doing a YouTube search for some EFT techniques. I just use YouTube channels, and I have found a lot of energy shifts, and I found it very helpful in bringing down my negative emotions, especially anxiety or feelings of fear. But there's different EFT tapping videos for just about anything. Go ahead and give it a search. Another way that I use affirmations is on my mirror. And I'm showing you a picture here now. I actually have right now written in red lipstick, I am enough. And I keep that there, and I see it every morning, and I take a look at it, and I just tell myself that I am enough. And I just love having this on the mirror. Another way that I've used my mirror for affirmations is I have put sticky notes with different affirmations all around the mirror. And that way, when I'm looking at myself in the morning, I can read them. And I also look at myself in the eyes directly and say them to myself. Now, this was a little bit challenging at first because I didn't really like looking at myself, and it was uncomfortable to look into my own eyes. But after a while, I'm used to it now. I can look at myself, I look myself directly in the eyes, tell myself those affirmations, and it's absolutely awesome. And it feels really, really good. We're just so not used to telling ourselves nice things. So that's where the discomfort came in for me at first. But now that I do it all the time, it makes it so much more simple. And that's the new autopilot program for myself. Another way that I use affirmations is through subliminal messaging, and I actually use some YouTube channels for this. Now, I highly recommend using channels where you can see the reviews and see what people have written about the affirmations. I also recommend choosing channels that list what their affirmations are in the subliminals. And what a subliminal messaging is basically is it's music or a sound, and the affirmations are played underneath that music. So it goes directly to the subconscious. You don't actually hear the affirmations being said, but they're underneath the music, and I fall asleep to them sometimes. Actually, oftentimes I do. I'll have them playing just kind of overnight, and then eventually I just fall asleep to them. And so I use those as well. And one of the last ways that I use affirmations is through guided meditations. I actually created a video for positive self-love affirmations, and you can find a link to that here, or it might be here. I don't know, I'm still learning. It's on one of these sides. It showed up one of these sides, but I'll link it below just in case, because I'm still figuring out these tags and where to put them. So it should show up here, but I'll link it below just in case it doesn't show up anywhere. And again, I highly recommend doing these affirmations within an hour of waking up and within an hour of going to bed to really get that theta state. Another way you can induce theta state is by going into meditation and then saying affirmations. So you can do this at any time of day, but those are the times of day that I find most effective for the affirmations to really sink in and really take advantage of the time that my subconscious is programmable. All right, soul surfers, it's time to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which of these things you're going to try out. I'd also love to hear some of the different ideas you might have about how you use affirmations that I may not have even touched on here. I'm sure there's so many different ways. There's so many brilliant minds in this community. I really, really can't wait to see what you have to say. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join this community and so you don't miss any of the tips that are coming in the following days. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you in the next video.